Good morning. You're watching First Up. I'm Akshita Nandagopal, and this Thursday morning, we're all set to script history. Our countdown to the historic 1 billion vaccination mark is underway. India is all set to achieve a massive feat in the fight against COVID-19. India would have soon inoculated 1 billion people. India's fight against COVID and the mega vaccination drive has been fueled by several record vaccinations, including the highest single-day tally of 2.5 crore shots. This was on September 17th. Now, this also went on to set a world record for daily vaccinations. India has also inoculated more than 1 crore people on 6 different occasions. We've come a long way since we kicked off one of the largest vaccination drives in the world, be it big initial bottlenecks, vaccine hesitancy, a huge issue, logistical challenges and rumours. The centre has battled numerous challenges to get to this stage of nearing 100 crore. Another story we're tracking closely this morning is on the Aryan-Khan drug case. The Mumbai Sessions Court yesterday rejected Aryan's bail plea, and SRK's son is now pinning all hopes on the Bombay High Court. Aryan's advocates approached the Bombay High Court seeking bail in the cruise drug bust case. The appeal is likely to be mentioned before a single bench of Justice N.W. Sambre. Senior advocate Amit Desai as well as Satish Mani Shinde were present before Justice S.W. Sambre to mention the matter. The court rose for the day before the mentioning. The case will be heard again today. Now, the 23-year-old son and accused number 1 in the case has been in Mumbai's Arthur Road jail since October 8th and will remain there till any relief comes from the Bombay High Court.
Aryan Khan stays in jail. A special court in Mumbai rejected Aryan's bail plea in the Mumbai cruise drug case on Wednesday. In an 18-page order, the court observed that the investigation may unearth a larger conspiracy. The judge said WhatsApp chats of Aryan Khan submitted by the NCB indicate that the accused was dealing in illicit drug activities on a regular basis. The court says it cannot be said that the accused will not commit a similar offence once out on bail. The court ruled that it is not a fit case for granting bail and says the charges attract sections of 29 and 37 of the NDPS Act. The court further observed that evidence on record shows that it cannot be said that there are reasonable grounds for believing that the accused are not guilty of such offence. The ruling is the big setback for Shah Rukh Khan's son.
Young kids should not be confined for such a long extent. You just see what are you gaining and what are you losing. If you evaluate, the pros and cons are too much. If you are confining somebody to a prison and then you're trying to educate, I really don't forecast the advantages. The advantages are less, disadvantages are more.
The NCB, under fire from many quarters over its probe, has got a big boost. Aryan's lawyers have now moved the Bombay High Court for bail. They are likely to seek an early hearing as the court will go on a Diwali break between November 1 and 6th.
The 23-year-old star kid has been in Arthur Road jail since October 8. Prolonged investigation spells trouble for Aryan as NCB might push for more serious charges against the superstar's son. With camera person Swaraj, this is Divyesh Singh in Mumbai for India Today.
So the NCB is relying heavily on Aryan Khan's WhatsApp chats, just as it did in the Riya Chakrabarti case. The Sessions Court judge V.V. Patil has said that Aryan's WhatsApp chats prima facie reveal that he's dealing in illicit drug activities on a regular basis. The Supreme Court has given 2 different observations earlier on the admissibility of WhatsApp chats in the last 2 years. So then the question that will be asked is, what will the Bombay High Court do now? How will it rule?
The Narcotics Control Bureau is claiming WhatsApp chats as the clincher that links Aryan Khan to an international drug conspiracy. India Today has learnt that the NCB has presented Aryan's chats with an upcoming Bollywood actress. The chats are allegedly about the cruise party. Sources say that Aryan and the actress were discussing drugs in the chats. Apart from these chats, Aryan's alleged conversations with some drug peddlers have also been submitted by the NCB. In fact, in the hearing last week, NCB asked the Sessions Court to note WhatsApp chat between Aryan Khan and his friend and co-accused Arbaz Merchant, where they said that they are going to have a blast. Aryan's legal team has argued that while the lingo of today's generation could generate suspicion, having a blast could mean something totally different and therefore cannot be the basis for culpability or denial of bail. Judge V.V. Patil of the Mumbai Sessions Court clearly did not buy Aryan Khan's defense today as he rejected the Star Kid's bail. The judge observed, WhatsApp chats prima facie reveal that accused number 1, Aryan Khan, is dealing in illicit drug activities of narcotic substances on regular basis. Therefore, it cannot be said that the accused number 1 is not likely to commit similar offence while on bail, and that incriminating material in form of WhatsApp chats show the nexus of accused number 1 with suppliers and peddlers. While NCB is relying heavily on the WhatsApp chats to implicate Shah Rukh Khan's son, the Supreme Court in January 2020 observed WhatsApp messages, which are virtual, verbal communications, are a matter of evidence with regard to their meaning and its content to be proved during the trial and cross-examination. However, in July this year, top court held that there is no evidential value to WhatsApp chats since anything can be created or deleted on social media. Just like the Riya Chakrabarti case, in Aryan's case too, WhatsApp chats have formed the Narcotics Control Bureau's probe. Do chats about having blast suggest illicit drug trafficking? Will these chats hold as evidence in the Bombay High Court now?
The Enforcement Directorate grilled Bollywood actor Jacqueline Fernandez for more than 7 hours on Tuesday in the 200 crore money laundering case. Sources say that the ED suspects a link between conman Sukesh and Bollywood actor Jacqueline Fernandez. The probe agency has also gone through bank statements of the Bollywood actor. India Today has accessed inside details of ED's probe into the extortion scandal. The ED suspects that Jacqueline was actually in touch with the main accused, with conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar.
After skipping 4 back-to-back summons, Bollywood actor Jacqueline Fernandez has finally appeared before the Enforcement Directorate in a money laundering case. The agency grilled the Bollywood actor for more than 7 hours over her links to conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who is accused of extorting 200 crores from a businessman's wife. India Today has learnt that the ED is investigating a financial trail allegedly linked to Jacqueline. Sources say the probe agency has gone through her bank statements. Sources say the actor's statement was recorded under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. India Today has accessed the ED's line of questioning for Jacqueline. Sources say the agency confronted Jacqueline about her first meeting with accused Sukesh and his wife Leena Maria Paul. The investigators want to know if the Bollywood star ever spoke to Sukesh over the phone. If yes, then how many times did they speak? According to sources, the ED wants to ascertain if Jacqueline ever met Sukesh in person. If yes, then where, when and why. The agency is investigating financial transactions or business dealings between Jacqueline and Sukesh or his wife Leena Maria Paul. Sources say the ED also grilled the actor on possible gifts she accepted from Sukesh and Leena or on their behalf. Jacqueline, when she last appeared before the ED, had called herself a victim of Sukesh. The ED now suspects that there is more to the relationship between Jacqueline and Sukesh than meets the eye. Another Bollywood star, Nora Fatehi, is also under the agency's scanner over alleged links with Sukesh, the conman lodged in Delhi jail. With Munish Pandey in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
There's unfortunately been no respite from the flood fury for the people of Uttarakhand. Heavy rainfall in the state for 4 consecutive days has led to chaos and disaster really across the state. Water bodies in Uttarakhand are overflowing at dangerous levels. Apart from the destruction of roads, bridges and private property, the deluge has also resulted in the death of 52 people. Many tourists visiting the hilly state are said to be stranded as a result of the heavy downpour in the last 4 days. This rainfall has also resulted in deadly landslides in many parts of Uttarakhand. The Chief Minister, Pushkar Singh Dhami, conducted an aerial review of the flood-affected areas in Ramnagar. Home Minister Amit Shah will also be conducting an aerial survey of the areas worst affected by the floods. Over 1,300 people have been evacuated from Uttarakhand and from the low-lying areas by the NDRF.
बहुत नुकसान हुआ है पूरे प्रदेश के अंदर। जगह जगह पुल बह गए हैं, संपर्क मार्ग बह गए हैं, लोगों के घर बह गए हैं, जनहानि हो गई है बहुत बड़े पैमाने पर। और लेकिन सरकार ने पूरे आपदा प्रबंधन तंत्र के साथ मिलकर सभी तरीके से जो है उसको एक तरीके से कोशिश करी है कि इस आपदा को जो है मैनेज करें। आपदा में जो है जो अच्छी व्यवस्था हो सकती है वो करें, और हमारी तराई में हो चाहे पहाड़ी पर्वतीय क्षेत्र में हो, दोनों क्षेत्रों में।
So right now, the rains have stopped in Uttarakhand. The deluge, however, over the last few days has left behind piles of debris and ruins. The NDRF is working overtime to now clear these areas. Here's a ground report.
Deluge, damage, destruction. And now the hill state of Uttarakhand wears a calm as it stands on the piles of ruins. Uprooted trees, destroyed property and tons of debris are being cleared as the rains stop. The flood fury has left several parts of the state waterlogged and businesses shut. The mayhem unleashed by the unprecedented rains still scares people.
6 से 9 बजे तक फिर पानी का लेवल स्तर इतनी तेजी से बढ़ा कि हमें अपनी दुकानें बंद करना ही मुश्किल हो गया। कुछ का सामान निकल पाया, कुछ का बिल्कुल ही नहीं निकल पाया है। सारा सामान दुकानों में ऐसे ही बंद पड़ा है, सारा सामान खराब हो गया है।
Their losses are immeasurable. Still in shock, the victims cannot even list the belongings they could not save before all of that was swept away.
जब तक हमने यहाँ आकर के लोगों को सूचना दी, कुछ सामान निकल पाया दुकानों से, कुछ नहीं निकल पाया। बहुत बड़ा नुकसान लोगों का हुआ है यहाँ।
Some of the victims are worried if they would find their villages standing when they go back.
सन 2010 में भी पानी आया था, लेकिन इतना नहीं आया था।
तब भी इतना नहीं आया।
हाँ, इस बार काफी पानी है। सामान कुछ नहीं निकाल पाए हैं, काफी करोड़ों का नुकसान हुआ है दुकानदारों को।
A bit of good news, the Met Department forecasts that there will be no rains in the state in the coming days.
जो वेदर एक्टिविटी है अब 8 से 10 दिन कुछ भी अब नहीं है, तो जो लोग आना चाहते हैं उत्तराखंड रास्तों वगैरह को देख के पूछ के, तो वो बिल्कुल आ सकते हैं।
Life has come to a standstill for those who stay in the state of Uttarakhand. Torrential rains have wreaked havoc in the state, and most parts of the state have now submerged because of floods. The shops are shut, and those who were staying in low-lying areas, they have been evacuated. Unfortunately, more than 30 people have lost their lives. The NDRF team at the moment is continuing with the rescue work, but they believe many more have lost their lives, and the rescue work will continue for the next 2 to 3 days. This is Aishwarya Paliwal reporting from Ranpur with camera person Parminder Sharma.
Let's get you the latest political stories also that we're tracking this morning. It's Congress versus Congress all over again in Punjab. The Punjab Congress chief Navjot Singh Sidhu has again locked horns with Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi. Sources say that Sidhu raised a 12-point agenda and that irked Channi, who challenged Sidhu, and Channi even offered to resign from the CM post. Sources also said that Sidhu is now mounting pressure to launch a crackdown on the businesses owned by the Badal family.
मेरी लड़ाई मुद्दों दी है, मसलियां दी है और पंजाब पक्षी एक एजेंडे दी है। मैं हक सच दी लड़ाई लड़दा रहा, इहदे च कोई समझौता सी ही नहीं।
Abuses, bad blood and open power rivalry. The bitter war of Sardars, showing no signs of abating. despite an all-out truce bid by the Gandhis. The Punjab Congress split again as President Sidhu and CM Channi now openly lock horns, reaching an ugly all-time low. Sources reveal a heated exchange between Sidhu and Channi in presence of Central Observer and top Congress leaders on Sunday. Witnesses revealed Sidhu curtly raised his 13 points of governance sent to Sonia Gandhi earlier. CM Channi in return dared him to implement them in 2 months. A massively irked Channi then went on to cry meddling by Sidhu and threatened to quit as CM as stunned Congress leaders watched on the squabbling Sardars. Channi was much composed, speaking to media later.
चन्नी साहब सिद्धू साहब की नाराजगी खत्म हुई या नहीं यार कोई नाराजगी नहीं है किसी दी वी आर ऑल चलवा
After losing out in the CM race, Sidhu has been vocal against inclusion of some ministers in Channi government and top officials handpicked by the CM. He had even quit as state Congress chief over his demands. And this time he is pressing the CM to book the Badal family, seeking a crackdown on their businesses. The animosity between the two had spilled out in public when Sidhu was caught on camera openly abusing the chief minister. The Gandhis had then advised Sidhu to focus on party organization. But the irrepressible Sardar is in no mood to relent. The Sidhu-Channi rivalry may spell doom for Congress in Punjab, especially when ex-CM Amrinder Singh is set to launch his own party and align with the BJP. Bureau Report, India Today.
Pakistan will remain under increased monitoring of the Financial Action Task Force, or the FATF, often referred to as the grey list, for non-compliance in one critical parameter of the 27-point action plan that Pakistan had committed to in the fight against terror. Pakistan is yet to take action and prosecute designated terrorists like Masood Azhar, and that's why they remain in the grey list. They've been identified as a country that hasn't complied with the 27-point action plan that was put forth by FATF. Pakistan globally again being exposed for its terror activities and for also aiding these terrorists. Welcome back. India registered their second victory in as many practice games as they had a comfortable victory against the Aussies. Both Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Shami were rested as India brought in players who were rested for the first practice match. Yes, the men in blue cruised to a win.
India kept their winning run going, beating Australia comprehensively in the second and final practice match before the T20 World Cup begins. Having won the toss, Australia opted to bat first.
The last game. That should be close and given.
David Warner, Mitchell Marsh, Aaron Finch.
Oh yeah, he gets in first ball, Ashwin.
All gone inside the first 4 overs.
Massive appeal and given.
Spin twins Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja ran through the Australian top order. Steve Smith and Maxwell then stabilised the innings with a 50-plus partnership.
Can play a switch hit. Oh, gets another wicket here.
But Rahul Chahar removed the big show just when he was looking to cut loose.
Dangerous looking Glenn Maxwell.
Marcus Stoinis's 25-ball 41 along with Steve Smith's 50 ensured Australia crossed the 150-run mark.
41 balls for his half-century.
Onto the boundary. Outside edge.
Indian openers got off to a brisk start, with Rahul taking up the aggressor's role.
That's a good hit.
Rahul Perez trying to up the ante after a couple of quiet overs in the middle.
That's a good catch.
Oh, wonderful shot, wonderful shot.
Rohit Sharma and Suryakumar Yadav, those struck a number of boundaries to keep India ahead.
Extraordinary shot.
Even as Rohit retired for a 41-ball 60,
there's a shot.
Suryakumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya ensured that India got over the line without any more hiccups. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Feels so good.
And that's all we have time for in this edition of First Up. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead and stay tuned to us here on India Today for the top stories.